free man on the campaign trail. Former President Donald Trump makes a stop in Waco.
Bottled water is flying off the shelves in Pennsylvania after a chemical spill contaminated local waterways.
And Biden's student loan forgiveness plan faces yet another obstacle before it even goes before the Supreme Court.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Unfortunately, there was a shooting in a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. Apparently, officials say that police were outside and that they had to call people to the school to, we do know that one of the gunmen were pronounced dead. We will update you as more information comes along. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Armando Berry.
And I'm Sydney Jolivet. Governor Greg Abbott will stop in Denton tonight at 6 p.m. to promote private education. Abbott has been visiting Texas communities in his Parent Empowerment Tour to promote education savings account. These savings accounts would give $8,000 to every Texas student from K through 12th grade. The money would only be allowed to be used to attend private schools, charter schools, or magnet schools. Doors open at 5 p.m. at Calvary Academy.
Looking at another politician on the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump held a campaign rally in Waco over the weekend. Other members of the Republican Party, like Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, joined Trump on Saturday. The rally was held just days after Trump warned of death and destruction if New York prosecutors arrested him. The event was Trump's first time stepping back into the public light in some time.
After violent storms ripped across the South this weekend, killing 26 and injuring dozens more, the communities hit the hardest are beginning the long road to recovery. Reporter Ivan Rodriguez explores how these cities are planning to rebuild from the ground up.
Say, like a lazy Susie of a smoker.
Even though Joshua Haynes can't do much to physically build back the city of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, it didn't stop him from wanting to help a community in pain, one meal at a time.
I told my wife yesterday, hey, we ought to just go cook for him.
Haynes and his friends weren't the only ones wanting to help. It's the kind of gesture those who lost everything could appreciate.
And I can't find anything at all.
For Erwin Macon,
Really can't recognize most of this stuff.
everything he had was taken in an instant when the tornado that tore through this trailer park also claimed his home.
A lot of people are in a whole lot worse shape than I am. You know, losing everything, one thing, but being injured, some loss of life.
A new satellite image showing the deep scar through the town left by the tornado, a stunning sight for those in the community.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here but a lot of wood, bricks, and rubbish. There's nothing here.
And even though all Macon could salvage from his property was a suitcase and a pair of sneakers, he also isn't giving up.
To come through this here, there is God.
In Rolling Fork, Mississippi, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Sydney, I was just near that area in Georgia last week, and it was 80 degrees and sunny and perfect. So it was crazy to see the turnaround those folks have seen in the last few days.
I definitely agree. Let's see what's going on in our area in Texas from our weather anchor, Peter Rabel. Peter?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's 59 degrees outside. It is kind of cloudy out. We're coming out of some colder temperatures that you saw over this past weekend. It does feel like 61, so it feels a little bit nicer than it is. It's just because we've got some slow winds going on right now. As we move into tonight, you'll see that we're going to have some clouds roll in as we go into the evening. So it's going to go down to 50, but it'll feel like 47 despite those lower winds. We're looking at a cloud front come in, but we're not really seeing any rain with that yet, but there is a small chance of that tonight, so just be be aware of that. And then as we look at tomorrow, those clouds are going to go back away a little bit more. It's going to feel like 60 despite being 62. So it'll warm back up, but it's not going to get too warm tomorrow. And then you'll have those 14-mile-an-hour winds that'll just kind of keep things nice when you're outside. But back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Peter. President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan may face a new threat before the Supreme Court even gets a chance to say if it's legal. 3 Republican senators, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Joni Ernst of Iowa, and John Cornyn of Texas, are planning to introduce a resolution to overturn Biden's debt relief program. Although Biden would likely veto the measure if it passes through Congress, it would force all members of the Democratic Party to take a public stance on the loan forgiveness program. The program promises up to $20,000 of debt relief per borrower. However, it is currently blocked.
Here in Texas, legislators at the state capitol are considering a massive school safety bill that hopes to prevent school shootings. ntTV Charles Ware has more info on what this could mean for your district. Charles?
That's right, Sydney. The new bill would require one armed security officer on every campus within a school district. State Representative Dustin Burrows, who wrote the bill, believes that such an officer could neutralize someone before they could barricade inside a classroom, and that ideally every school district would not have one, but 2 armed people. To cover the expense, the bill provides $15,000 per campus plus $10 for each student, which would fall short in large districts like Dallas ISD. Schools would be allowed to hire their own police force, or they can contract with outsource. They could also go through the Guardian or Marshal program, where they can actually find someone who's already worked in the field and put them through highly specialized training to make sure they're ready for any threats to students. The bill wants to give flexibility to schools by providing the district with options to where the money will go. That's all I have on the bill. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Charles. After almost 3 years, the pandemic-related SNAP relief program will end this month. Every SNAP recipient will lose at least $95 this month, with an average cut of $212. While SNAP benefits are adjusted for inflation, many recipients and advocates say the changes aren't enough to account for the increasing cost of food, especially as the pandemic-era program draws to a close.
If you've ever bought a used computer in Dallas, it may be worth more than you think. We'll tell you why today.
And school is back in session in the nation's second largest district. We'll explain what went down in LA when we come back.
Did you know you have access to video equipment like DVDs, video games, and cameras? That's right, you do. Come on down to Chilton Library and fulfill your media dream. Located on the bottom floor next to the student sculpture. Hope to see you there soon. Hey girl, you know you look good. I like the way you move and groove. I'm not sure.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
The city of Philadelphia is confident its tap water is safe to drink, at least through the end of the day. Officials urge residents to use bottled water after chemicals spilled into the Delaware River on Friday night. Sharifa Jackson takes a look at how this led to a buying frenzy at grocery stores across the city.
You gotta make that last.
It took Mark Young trips to 3 different grocery stores to find water.
You know what I mean? They actually limited to a customer what you can get. And I think they're just about done it. The line in there for water is very long.
Sunday afternoon, people flocked to stores across the city.
Probably 50, 60 people long waiting to get water.
Leaving shelves empty. This after the emergency alert by the city of Philadelphia to use bottled drinking water following a spill in the Delaware River. A cautionary alert they have reversed at least until just before midnight Monday.
We have enough water within the system, which we are clear has no contamination. And we're also clear there has not been any contamination in the Philadelphia water system.
An estimated 8,000 to 12,000 gallons of latex-like material spilled into a creek and the river late Friday, the result of a pipeline rupture at Trenzio PLC in Bristol, Pennsylvania. Tim Thomas is the company's senior vice president of manufacturing and engineering.
You know, our responsibility is we will clean it up. We'll take full responsibility.
Health officials say what's in the water isn't toxic to humans, but testing is ongoing to determine exactly how much spilled into the river and at what concentration. At this time, the chemical spill also hasn't impacted drinking water in New Jersey. But American Water texted and called customers about a voluntary conservation notice in Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties.
What we expect is in a matter of days, the water in the Delaware should be okay.
Trenzio PLC says the spill appears to have been caused by equipment failure. The company believes over 8,000 gallons of solution leaked into the river.
The nation's second largest school district is open once again following a massive 3-day strike over wages and better working conditions. Service workers, including custodians, cafeteria workers, and bus drivers, walked off the job last week as they felt undervalued by low wages, minimal staffing, and inadequate hours. However, on Friday, LA Mayor Karen Bass announced that Los Angeles Unified School District and union workers have reached a tentative deal, including a 30% pay raise.
Armando, did you know that just like here on Earth, other planets go through seasonal changes?
Really? I didn't know
They
that.
do. Well, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope captured the changes on Uranus and Jupiter. Uranus rolls on its side around the sun and follows an 84-year orbit. So for 42 years, parts of one hemisphere are completely without sunlight.
Wow, even looking at the planet just 7 years apart, you can see the orientation shift. I don't know if it does have something to do with the seasons, but when I was at my apartment pool hanging out over the weekend, I couldn't even enjoy it. There were bugs, flies everywhere.
As soon as I open the door in the morning, they're swarming in the grass. It's just not my favorite time of year. Let's see what our weather anchor Peter has to say. Peter?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, if there's anything I like about the winter, it's that all those bugs outside aren't there. But then we hit spring, and all of a sudden they're back outside. I think they got the message that spring was here, and it was time to return just to pester me. I've seen so many crane flies outside. Crane flies are commonly referred to as mosquito hawks or skeeter eaters by some. They're those long-legged insects that seem to come in just droves when the seasons change. It turns out, though, that they don't kill mosquitoes. They don't even bite or carry disease. Crane flies only live about a week, most of which is spent as larvae. Experts say the insects are completely harmless and quite fragile, with Brian McDowell, a specialist for A&M AgriLife, going as far as to just call them clumsy flyers. Nonetheless, if you aren't interested in having these guys in your home like I am, be sure to have a screen over your window if it's open and keep doors and other openings closed. If one does come inside, be aware they're perfectly safe just to pick up and take outside. But looking at your weather behind me here, you'll see that it's 56, 57 on the map here. It's high 50s generally in our area and in the north, and then it's a little bit warmer in the DFW area, 61 in McKinney, and 64 over in Sulphur Springs, 61 in Paris. So it's a pretty cool day outside right now, but as we look at our larger area, we'll see it's 48 up in Amarillo, just a little bit colder up there, 47 Oklahoma City. We had another one of those cold fronts push in over the weekend, but it's nothing 72 strong. It's 69 over in Shreveport and 70 in Austin, 75 in Houston. So it feels a little different depending on where you are in the region, but everything is feeling a little bit springish, really. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast here in Denton, you're going to see 62 and 67 this week as we started off, but it's going to warm back up and then cool back down, and then you'll see it's going to actually be up to 85 on Monday, excuse me, which is the first time I've been able to say it'll be warmest on a Monday than it ever has been these past few weeks. Just keep in mind, specifically tomorrow, you're looking at 47 when you wake up in the morning. It's going to feel almost a little colder than it did today, and then Saturday and Sunday over the weekend, you'll have some low days as well. Not necessarily a cold front coming in, but just a lack of a warm front, really. Only one day here with that 20% chance of rain that you have to worry about. Other than that, it's just going to be clear skies and cool weather. So be sure to enjoy it, because we know how Texas is. It's going to be 100 degrees next week probably. So keep that in mind. But that's all I have for your weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Peter. The White House is ending Women's History Month in style.
And the Mean Green are heading to Vegas. More on this after the break.
Oh, I'm
Has the weight of stress and anxiety ever felt too heavy to overcome? Wish there was a safe place to confide in? Wish granted. At UNT, we offer counseling and testing services to students located on the 3rd floor of Chestnut Hall. UNT, we're here for you.
We now bring you an update on the developing story in Nashville. Officials confirmed that 3 children were killed during the shooting this morning. The students were pronounced dead upon arrival at the local children's hospital. It is still not clear whether anyone else was injured in the attack. However, at this time, police do not think there are any remaining dangers. We will continue to monitor the situation and keep you updated.
Several thousand computers owned by Dallas County were auctioned off with personal and criminal justice information on them. The fallout was due to the county lacking the proper encryption to protect the information. In a statement, Sheriff Marion Brown said the violation of its system rules and careless compromise of security is unacceptable. The office is now taking the steps to correct the protection issues.
President Biden is closing out Women's History Month by hosting high-profile female business owners. Today's event will kick off the 2nd annual Women's Business Summit at the White House. According to a White House official, Biden will be joined by Spanx founder Sarah Blakely and ClassPass founder Payel Kadika. The ladies will sit on a panel with Melissa Butler, the Lip Bar CEO and founder, and Natalie King, the founder and CEO of Done Mischarge. Biden is also expected to announce that the small Small Business Administration is expanding its Women's Center network. There will soon be over 60 centers nationwide to help female entrepreneurs with training, mentoring, business development, and finance.
A student-led group at West Texas A&M University is suing the school's president over a drag show. The LGBTQ+ organization filed the suit this week after school president Walter Wendler canceled the planned student event. Wendler called drag shows divisive and demoralizing misogyny. He said there is no such thing as a harmless drag show and compared them to blackface. The student group described the performance as a PG-13 show for charity. The law claims canceling the show as a violation of the group's First Amendment rights. Sydney, I was watching the Iowa Louisville game last night for the women's Final Four. Are you excited?
I definitely am excited. I know you think I don't know that much about sports, but I truly am excited to watch the Final Four.
I know you know a thing or two.
Right, and the Final Four is here in Dallas, I believe. Is that right, Lillian?
That's right. And I mean, there's a lot going on the court this week, and I mean, I don't know who's going to be watching. I'll answer that question for y'all after the break.
Good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right?
We do?
I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so...
Man, I don't want to pay for that.
So what do we do?
You think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
I'm here to rescue you.
Oh, my prince.
No so fast.
This story's going to be awesome.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
A North Texas girls basketball team is being looked into by the UIL following questions about player eligibility. The DeSoto High School girls varsity basketball team has had a good run this season and is currently placed second in their district. And because of this, complaints were raised against the standout program for violating UIL rules. The DeSoto administration is in contact with the UIL and are working to gather more information on this situation. Switching over to college courts, our Mean Green men's basketball team is in Vegas, baby. Tomorrow night, tune in to watch the NIT semifinals against Wisconsin Badgers at 6. With UNT favored to win this matchup, and if it's anything like the OSU game, no matter the turnout, it'll be worth the watch. And I mean, all UNT sports are worth the watch, but they don't always get the recognition they deserve. I had the chance to go on campus and figure out why UNT is experiencing such low student turnout. The silence is deafening in a place where screams and cheers should be ringing out. At a school of over 40,000 students, only a small fraction of them fill these bleachers on game days.
Maybe my circle is just like, maybe they just don't like football games, but like in general, I don't really
I don't really see a lot of buzz on it.
Even with a winning team like the Mean Green 2023 basketball team, the university is only welcoming approximately 1,600 fans a game, about 4% of the student body.
UNT sports is kind of like it feels not integrated into the campus, even though the stadium's right there.
With the courts and fields only being a 10-minute walk across campus, why is this Division I university lacking student support at sporting events? After speaking with several students on campus, they all had similar answers.
I've seen a few pamphlets for basketball games, but I don't see anything about women's volleyball or women's soccer even. I don't see anything about any other games besides football.
While communication and visibility seem to hinder attendance, sports management professor Bob Heer says the issue lies deeper beneath the surface.
I do think if we want to get people excited about some of the indoor sports, it might have to be a new facility, a new arena that people can be proud of and excited about.
But for now, UNT can do other things to shed light on sporting events year-round.
I think they could try to just send out more emails, maybe just put in some more money into their advertising.
Next time you're looking for something to do, maybe catch a game and support not only your school, but the athletes who continue to work hard, no matter the crowd size. For ntTV, I'm Lillian Kosh. For more information on how to get your free tickets, visit meangreensports.com. That's all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Lillian. I'll be sure to tune in for myself tomorrow night. In other news, the U.S. Transportation Security Administration considers peanut butter a liquid. That means you are not allowed to bring large containers on its planes.
The TSA explained its ruling in a Twitter post on Tuesday. It defines a liquid as something with no definite shape that takes the shape of its container. Peanut butter fits that description and therefore must be in a 3.4-ounce container to be cleared through security.
The issue took off last week when podcaster Patrick Neve had his jar of peanut butter confiscated at airport security. Neve posted about his TSA experience on Twitter, and it went viral, receiving likes and responses with many pushbacks on the new rule. This doesn't really affect my travel life. I'm not a big peanut butter guy myself.
You're missing out. I'm really shocked. There's peanut butter crackers, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Nutter Butters. You don't like any of this?
Nah. Thank you for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.